group stages. Brazil facing off against Croatia. This isn't the decider for the Olympic Games, but it very may well be in a couple of days' time.
Two groups of 3 teams in this tournament. This game comes from Group B. Earlier this evening, Mexico shot Russia in Group A to become the first team into that semi-final lineup on Saturday. We look at Group B, where Brazil downed Tunisia to start with a win yesterday. We finish tomorrow with a winner-takes-all matchup between Russia and Germany in the other group, as well as Croatia against Tunisia in this group. The top 2 from each group then cross over to contest the semi-finals before the final on Sunday, which, as Lloyd points out, could very well still be these 2 teams. So it could be a sneak preview of the final for that ticket to Tokyo 2020. Croatia out of Euro 2020 a couple of days ago. Now the main sporting focus for the country is here. All eyes on the Spaladium Arena, up to 40% of the 11,000 capacity allowed in attendance, and they should, Lloyd, give their team a big boost.
Well, absolutely, Tim. You know, they've called for it. They've asked Coach Veljko Mrsic, asked for fans to come here in attendance, cheer the team on, be that extra support they've been looking for.
Well, Brazil up against the tournament underdogs Tunisia yesterday. It was nonetheless an impressive performance from a well-balanced Brazil side. 67% shooting inside, 12 threes at 42% accuracy. Nobody played longer than 25 minutes. Everybody scored. 8 players between 6 and 15 points. And defensive tenacity that continued until the final buzzer, despite a 26-point winning margin.
Oh, they were incredible yesterday, Brazil. Just simply too much for Tunisia in every aspect of the game. And what we saw was, if you allow this Brazilian team to be comfortable, you know how they are a really tough matchup. I think Croatia, they have better quality of players. They have the ability to change the game a little bit more than Tunisia did. But we saw, no doubt, that if you allow this Brazilian team to play the way they want to, how tough they are to beat.
This is the first game of this tournament for the host Croatia. Their biggest success came when they won Olympic silver in Barcelona in 1992, losing to the USA in the final. It was their first ever major tournament after gaining independence. They also won bronze at the 1994 World Cup with current coach Veljko Mrsic on the team, as he was a year earlier and a year later when they won 2 more bronze medals at the 93 and 95 Eurobaskets. And it's Subplot City here in Split today because, of course, on the opposite bench, Anso Petrovic, 3 spells as head coach of Croatia, but he leads Brazil in this one, and a man who won bronze at Eurobasket in 1995 and took Croatia as well to the last Olympic Games, Rio 2016. The 2 sets of players out on the court. We'll pause now for the 2 national anthems. It's a two-time world champion and four-time America's champion against the 1992 Olympic silver medalists. Brazil against Croatia here at the Spaladium Arena in Split, as we take a look at your officiating team for this contest. Croatia play their first game against this Brazil team that showed a brilliant blend of experience and energy yesterday. Verejao, Huertas, Alex and Hetzheimer, all mid-30s and beyond, setting the mentality. Sharpshooter Vitor Benite leading the way with 15 points.
Well, you said Coach Adso, a Croatian in charge of Brazil, throws the first curveball as Benite comes off the bench. Big performance from him yesterday, 15 points in that veteran backcourt. But, you know, the strength and depth of this Brazilians comes through. He is coming off a big season domestically in Spain. Vitor Benite, he is the MVP of the Final 8 tournament in the Basketball Champions League as well.
Brazil have some big names, but no out-and-out superstars. Just a formidable team at both ends of the floor. Fluid on offense, dogged on defense. A big challenge for this Croatian team. Missing Zubac and Šarić, both still playing against each other in the NBA playoffs. Bojan Bogdanović, though, has flown back from Utah at short notice, having only finished his season 11 days ago.
I mean, Bojan Bogdanović is the star man, just finished his 7th NBA season. 6 of those he's averaged in double figures. Shows his quality. They must be delighted that he's come back, even though they are missing a couple of key players still. The interesting thing for me is just the dynamic of how Bogdanović plays alongside Hezonja, how they work that combination. Hezonja, massive game in preparation here, 37 points in one warm-up game in a loss to Slovenia. Can they get both of those wings firing at the same time? I know Coach Adso has come out and stated that he knows how Brazil can beat this Croatian team. I'm really interested to see how they match up against Bogdanović. Is, you know, arguably the key to this Croatian team. I said to you in the build-up, you know, they went 3 guards yesterday. They went really small. That's going to be interesting to see what changes there are from the Brazilian team that played yesterday to this Brazilian performance today.
One of the keys to their impressive performance yesterday was the 8 assists off the bench for the 22-year-old point guard Yargo. Marcelino Huertas with 6 assists in limited minutes as well. He might play a longer role in this bigger game. No disrespect to Tunisia, with more experience for Brazil leading the offense. And who do Brazil have to guard Bojan Bogdanović? That's the big question.
Well, the surprise addition for me of Jorginho may well be the reason he's out there, so that'll be something to look at.
There is the main man, Bojan Bogdanović, who actually led all scorers at Rio 2016, the last Olympics, when he averaged 25 points a game. He's the big star, but these fans have come to roar on their team. It could comfortably be the final on Sunday. 2 teams full of talent, full of ambition, fully focused on that ticket to Tokyo. Croatia with this split crowd on their side. Brazil buoyant after yesterday's performance. They guarantee their semi-final spot with a win. And if that does transpire, Croatia have the do-or-die game against Tunisia tomorrow. You'd expect these two to be there. That's not the start that Brazil wanted. The travel called on Hetzheimer and a turnover.
It's just fascinating to me, this lineup from Brazil. All their key players really on the bench. Jorginho, DNP yesterday. Didn't see any court time. He's out there already. He isn't guarding Bogdanović to start. It's Lutz that's got that nod.
Wide open shot on the first offensive possession for Croatia. Rims out for Mateo Drezniak, the 22-year-old, who was named as one of FIBA's top 10 European rising stars back in February 2020 in the Eurobasket qualifiers. Mendel Cross it goes to Hetzheimer again, and a whistle.
That's a tough matchup for Miro Bilan. Hetzheimer, we saw yesterday, you know, happy to step out, shoot the three, really skilled on the outside he is. So that's going to pull Bilan away from the basket, you know, a lot of time. It's a tough matchup for him.
Here is Jorginho. Didn't play, as you say, at all yesterday. Looking to make up for lost time here. And off his drive and attempt, the tip goes for the first score for Brazil. Roko Ukic, the captain, onto Miro Bilan. Around he goes to Šakić. Bojan Bogdanovic up against Mendel. Bogdanovic using his body well, creating a good look at the basket, but missing his first shot. And now the pace down the floor, almost lost the handle on the ball, Jorginho. Wild as he throws it up towards the hoop, battles on the baseline though, and Caboclo picks up the pieces in emphatic fashion.
Well, it wasn't as fluid as we saw Brazil yesterday in transition, but still got the ball where it needs to go. Caboclo, the only man who started yesterday, out there again today.
Roko Ukic, the hometown hero, gets Croatia up and running in this tournament.
Now, there's a few of those split born and bred players in this Croatian team, but, you know, Ukic, a man who captained the split team at the age of 17, must feel immense pride being out here today.
Jorginho with a really positive start. Mendel slips it across for the volley to the basket from Hetzheimer. Brazil with their game faces on.
They're ready to go, aren't they, Brazil? Even with these changes, you know, great start from Mendel, puts it on the deck, draws help. And again, that's the trouble for Bilan. You're asking him to come across, rotate against that penetration. Who's guarding Hetzheimer behind him?
A chance at a three-point play for Hetzheimer, who had 11 points in just 12.5 minutes yesterday.
You mentioned MVP of the Basketball Champions League Americas, coming off a really strong season. Hetzheimer showing it here in the first couple of games.
He put up 21 points in the final of that competition. Here's Ukic. Ukic back out to Bogdanovic, who lost it on the dribble. Not the start that the Croatian fans were hoping for from him. Swift pass down the floor to Caboclo. Touch pass on to Luz. Bogdanovic gets back on defense. Hetzheimer on the trail, though, shows his range.
Well, what a start for Hetzheimer. What a start for Brazil. We said yesterday, if you don't take them out of the rhythm, how good they are. And that's exactly what's happened here, first couple of minutes.
Ukic has got all 5 of Croatia's points. The captain stepping up.
It's early stages for Croatia. We talked about this in the last game. You know, first game for Croatia. They're still trying to get their rhythm. Brazil, even though they may be tired from playing yesterday, they do have the advantage of having that rhythm of an important game.
Across it goes far side to Luz, who lost it, recovered it though. Down on the deck to grab it, Šakić, looking to ignite the offense, but throws it too far, and it's back into the hands of Caboclo. And Croatia can't find any rhythm or confidence at the moment. And Brazil looking to rub salt in their wounds as Mendel battles his way to the basket.
This is an aggressive start for Brazil. They are not backing down to this challenge here whatsoever.
12 points in 3.5 minutes for the Brazilians. Croatia looking to answer with Šakić, outside shot right on the money.
I love Željko Šakić. I'm a massive fan. You know, he does a bit of everything. He's a power forward that can play point guard. He can hit the three, put it on the floor, post, anything you want offensively. He's able to do it.
Had a really good season with Avtodar Saratov in Russia. Luz. High catch in the corner for Jorginho, and it goes to Hetzheimer. And now Croatia looking for that spark in transition, rising high to rock the rack. The one-handed finish from Drezniak.
But again, the score from Croatia gave them an opportunity to set their defense. Now it's slower again, easier for them to guard than the pace that the Brazilians have played with in those first few minutes.
Luz gets it to go. Some more ball handling and passing from Jorginho. Brazil by 4, approaching the midway point of this fascinating first quarter. Bogdanovic has lost it again. And all the way, Mendel to the basket, scores.
Bogdanovic has only played one game of warm-up for Croatia. Obviously, he's in game shape. He's been playing a playoff series for the NBA, but you know, it's a different kind of ask to come into a completely different role without a lot of prep for him.
2 turnovers for him in the opening 5 minutes. Drezniak onto Shakic. They turn it over again. There's 4 turnovers as a team for Croatia. And some Samba showtime from Kabotla.
Well, kind of a little stunned silence here, isn't it? First time we've had a crowd, everybody wants to cheer on the Croatians, but right now it is all Brazil. Fantastic start from them. So I don't think Croatia will be too worried about this. We're 5 minutes in though. Obviously, this isn't really do or die for them. They've got the opportunity to beat Tunisia to still qualify into the semi-final, which is the most important thing. So I think, you know, from their side, they'll be patient. They'll want to just try and get themselves slowly back into the game. But this is a Brazilian team, like, ready to go from moment one. Against Tunisia yesterday, they were incredible in transition, incredible defensively. You know, and I said, I'm not sure if you can do the same thing against a team like Croatia, but they've done it. And more impressively for me, they've done it without a lot of the guys we expected to be leading the way for Croatia. So Marcelino Huertas is coming in now, Benitez still to come in. So a lot of strength and depth to come for Brazil. It'll be interesting to see, can they keep this tempo the way it's been so far?
Well, you mentioned before the opening tip that Atso Petrovic has already alluded to the fact he feels he knows how to beat his home nation Croatia from the Brazilian bench. And what a start his team have made in trying to do that, up by 8 and forcing 4 turnovers now already on Croatia in just over 5 minutes, playing tenacious defense as they did against Tunisia yesterday, but doing it against a much higher level opponent today.
Oh, here's the first question to be asked of Brazil. Croatia gone with a really small lineup now. Hezenya essentially the 4.
Bilan, the big man in the middle, misses. Hetzheimer the rebound.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've seen Bilan get a touch on the low block. I said he's going to struggle to guard Hetzheimer here, but Bilan, a great offensive player in that low post.
Marcelino Huertas, the 38-year-old point guard who's had one of his best seasons in Spain this past season. Gets it back from Hetzheimer, part of the Spanish League Team of the Year. Luz, far side, shoots the 3 and knocks it down, and Brazil lead by 11. Bogdanovic onto the corner to Drezniak. Hezonja slips. And Croatia are slipping in split right now.
Coach Petrovic for Brazil loves to be the villain. So, you know, this is just a game made for him to set his team up the way he has. You know, he loves to be in this sort of position. Benitez now comes in up 11 with 6 minutes gone. What an opportunity for him to play with a little freedom.
You put 21 points on the board in just over 6 minutes, and then you can bring your biggest offensive weapon off the bench. Marcelino Huertas into Hetzheimer. And Hetzheimer finish, and it looks like everybody from Brazil can put the ball in the basket right now. Hezonja. Žižić rolling inside, found by Hezonja, and throwing it down. A big hammer in his hometown.
Oh, Žižić, great offensive player as well. You know, that's going to be a difficult matchup for Hetzheimer on that side. And as I said, first question now being asked by Croatia, this change in lineup. It'll be interesting to see how Brazil counter against Hezonja if they're going to put him in those same situations.
The combination there of 2 guys who both recently returned from the NBA to Europe. Žižić again gets the roll around and the drop off the soft touch finish. Four quick fire points for the 24-year-old center. Marcelino Huertas. Gap has been closed to 9. Kabotla in the corner. And a 3-second violation. Is that on Hetzheimer?
A mistake from Brazil. They had the mismatch on the low post. Croatia forced into the switch because of the fall. I think it was Rokic that fell. You know, so they had to switch. There was the advantage for Hetzheimer, and because Brazil didn't go to him, he was camped in the lane wanting the ball and never received it.
Only the third turnover from coach Atso Petrovic's team. Mario Hezonja. Žižić off to Rogic. And a whistle on Huertas.
Caboclo on the defensive end is going to be the question for Brazil, because he's being put in a lot of actions he probably doesn't guard on a week-to-week basis. You know, usually he's guarding the 4 of the other team, who spaces a lot more. Now, against Hezonja, he's being asked to guard ball screens, back screens, a really different kind of situation than he's used to. So, can he execute with the speed of some of the other players?
Žižić really going at Brazil right now. 6 points off the bench. Varejão in for Brazil as well. Mendel wriggles free on the baseline, confronted by Žižić doing his thing on the defensive end as well. But a foul and a trip to the line for Brazil.
They kind of found the adjustments offensively now, Croatia. Question is, how quickly can they find them defensively? Still struggling to find the solution.
We're about to see the 41-year-old Alex come in for Brazil. A man who played as a 36-year-old at the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Can't imagine too many would have felt at that point he might get another Olympic Games.
And I wonder if this is by design, because Brazil now go with the 3 guards that started yesterday, but when Croatia had their smaller lineup on the floor, we wondered who was going to match up with Bogdanovic in that starting unit for Croatia. Well, actually, the 3 guards that they want to play is now out here against a much more favourable lineup.
Hezonja driving inside. There's a foul on Brazil.
That's what I was talking about defensively. Caboclo, you know, out in an isolation against Hezonja. He doesn't usually guard that sort of play.
Mario Hezonja, the 5th pick in the 2015 NBA draft, 6 years in the US, returned to Europe in February to sign with Panathinaikos. Averaged 14.4 points over 8 games in the EuroLeague after returning. Six points the margin, final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Huertas to Benite. Marcelino Huertas again. Benite trying to get free on this near side, comes away around Varejão. Slips it into the big man, he turns to face the basket, this is his shot, Žižić the rebound. Rogic handling the ball down the floor for Croatia. Working with Žižić on the perimeter. Rogic back now to Marcinovic across to this near side. Giordano in for the first time. 3-point shot, Hezonja. Offensive rebound for Croatia. Huge roar from this split crowd as they continue to battle back and get within 4. Fans on their feet.
Yeah, just piece by piece, step by step, you can see Croatia growing with every minute.
Caboclo. Here's Alex up against Hezonja. Alex, really tough competitor, back out. Caboclo's going to fire a 3. Žižić dropped the rebound, colliding with his teammate Hezonja. Varejão looking to pick up the pieces, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Should have secured the rebound, really, Croatia. Žižić will be frustrated. He got a good 2 hands on the rebound. Picks up his 2nd, so he's probably going to have to go out as well, which, you know, is a shame for Croatia. I think he gave a good impact when he came on.
6 points in 4 minutes on 3 of 3 shooting.
It is a spot they're pretty loaded at, though, Croatia. If you think we've already seen...
they've got Bilan, Planinic as well.
Yeah, exactly. Bilan's already gone out, and Planinic has come in, who's been a good player for them through the qualification windows as well. You know, he's had a couple of big performances, Planinic showed. Not really a big drop-off. Played 2 games, averaged double figures over 11 a game in that qualification. So, yeah, of course they'd like Zizic, but I don't think they lose a lot with Planinic.
Brazil by 5, hit the quarter-century mark in the first quarter. Hezonja. There is Planinic looking to run interference on the perimeter. Hezonja taking the long 2. Benite to Alex, to Marcelino Huertas. Benite gets it back for the 3, misses it. And a foul underneath.
Bodies everywhere. One end of the floor, 3 guys on it, and down here, 2 guys as well hitting the deck.
No disrespect to any of the other teams, but it would be almost the perfect final, wouldn't it, on Sunday between these two? The story of the last samba for Brazil. All of their players that have been around for so long. So many former Olympians. And Croatia, of course, is the host here in Split with these fans behind them. There's a long way to go before we get to Sunday. Giordano to Rogic. Planinic setting the screen. Rogic will shoot the 3. Planinic offensive rebound and a whistle. And it might be, as it gets a bit feisty here, that plenty of subplots start to build up and boil under the surface before potentially they could meet again on Sunday.
It's just going to add more spice to it if this one stays as it is. Yeah, foul on Varejao. Little handbags from Planinic and Alex, nothing in that. 0.7. Can't give up a lob if you're Brazil here. It's the most important thing.
Brazil by 5. Final second of the first. And Brazil win the first by 5 points. A big offensive haul for the Brazilians, continuing from their impressive performance yesterday. 25-20, the lead over the host Croatia.
Well, we thought this was going to be a good game. First quarter, high-level basketball from both teams. Just so many little stories all the way through. But Brazil look comfortable. I mean, 2-point shooting. Look at that from them. Croatia have played well themselves. And like I said, I feel like Croatia offensively started to make those adjustments, started to get that comfort. But they still have a long way to go to try and figure out the Brazilian offense, which is looking even more comfortable.
Well, the offenses have prevailed, no doubt about it, 25-20, but it's not been for a lack of defensive doggedness at all. 4 turnovers for Brazil, 5 for Croatia, many of them forced. And you can see that focus, mentality, physicality is at a high in Split tonight. What we've not seen yet, Lloyd, is much from Benite or much from Bogdanovic.
No, well, you know, the 2 guys that we kind of expected to be the stars haven't got going yet, that's for sure. I think, you know, Bogdanovic looked a step off the pace. He looked like this was his first game for a new team, but that dynamic that I talked about with Hezonja and Bogdanovic on the floor at the same time, that's the one that interests me. If Croatia can figure it out. And then for Brazil, I don't think they'll worry about Benite right now. He came in and it was the threat of him running off screens that got a couple of other guys shots at the same time. So even though he hasn't scored, his presence on the floor has been important for the Brazilians.
Here we go, start of the second quarter. Croatia start with the ball down by 5. Rogic, the ball handler, played in the German league this season. Giordano takes a 3. Caboclo the rebound. Huertas taking his time at centre court. Lost it at centre court. Rocco Rogic doing a good job one-on-one defensively. Mario Hezonja up against Caboclo. Pirouette into the paint, little up fake on his way down, got the shot away, got fouled, will go to the line for 2.
Well, that's what Hezonja can do at a world level. You know, the creation just out of nothing. In that one-on-one matchup, we said he had the big game in the warm-up with 37 against Slovenia. That was when there was no Bogdanovic in the team. That's when there was no Zizic as well. So at that point, he was the star. He likes the ball in his hands. He likes to be a key player. And so often he comes up with big performances as well. 13 in the game against Puerto Rico in a victory as well. And he's consistently been a double-figure scorer for them in these warm-up games.
He put up 21 points against his former club Barcelona on his EuroLeague return in February. He's doing it at club level and international level right now, having done it at the very highest level, of course, in the NBA. Caboclo, three-point shot, got it.
Just looked comfortable shooting that one. Sometimes when he misses, you can tell when it comes out of his hands, Caboclo. He just kind of snatches it a bit, tries to shoot it too quickly. When he's got time and space, really efficient shooter.
It's his first on the outside. He's got 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting altogether. Caboclo now, a couple of big dunks. Hezonja, he's going to try and answer back with a 3. Completely free, missed it. Benite the rebound. Vitor Benite had 15 points, a team high in that win yesterday as Brazil spread the scoring around. Here he is again, Benite. To Varejao, the veteran, back to Benite. Takes the long 2. Can't get going in this one. Rogic. We're going to go coast to coast, all the way down the floor. Couldn't combine with Planinic. Picked up on the far side, though, Hezonja. Off the pass from Marcinkovic. Two minutes into the second quarter, Brazil by 6. Iago had 8 assists off the bench yesterday. Varejao is going to shoot a 3. Rogic. Hezonja, main offensive weapon right now for Croatia, and that's a beautiful finish.
Yeah, he took a bad one last time, Hezonja. He had some open guys for the extra pass, but you almost have to live with that with him. He's such a creative offensive player. You don't want to take away the confidence he has or have him thinking about the shot. Alex
backing his body into Hezonja, making Hezonja think about defense as well. Takes the long 2 from the near side, misses it, the 41-year-old. And out of bounds it goes into the Brazil bench on the far side. And a huge cheer you can hear is for Bojan Bogdanovic returning off the Croatian bench. Not finished with just as big a cheer, though, from those fans. Hezonja getting Croatia within 4. And now Bogdanovic back on the floor. Rebound grabbed by Lucas Diaz. In for Brazil. Benite to Iago. Benite again. And a foul on Planinic. First on Croatia in the quarter.
There's a kick, I think, not a foul. Yeah, just the right boot. Nice tackle they could have done with that the other day in the Euro Football Championships.
All about basketball now for the country of Croatia. Varejao. Look at the footwork from the big man, but Planinic sticking to him like glue, and help from both sides as well. Bogdanovic up against Alex, got the height advantage. Marcinkovic back to Bogdanovic, scoreless in 8 minutes so far. Knocked away again, that's 3 turnovers on the NBA star. Iago down the floor, Benite, little up fake. Defense didn't really bite, but he got it to drop anyway.
Well, the credit for the Croatian defense a couple of plays ago, they're a lot more disciplined than we saw yesterday from Tunisia and helping on shooters. So they've done a good job there. Bogdanovic, even though he's been playing in the NBA, don't forget the rules slightly different, especially on help. You can pack into the lane, and it's almost like he's surprised that there's not as much space as he's used to. There's an adjustment period there for him, no doubt.
He's scoreless in 8 minutes, missing his only shot, committing 3 turnovers. But Benite, Brazil's big offensive weapon, has just got going. His first 3 points on that 3-point play, having missed his first 2 shots. Marcinkovic. Ukic. Marcinkovic to take on the open 3, and he strings it. A man who plays here in Split with his club side. He's been missing the fans all season long. Will have enjoyed that one. Alex looking to bully his way, battle his way to the basket. And this guy just plays the game with such an intensity.
Yeah, he does. I mean, you said bullied his way to the basket. Look at this, just straight at Planinic. Knocks him to the floor. Great work. Great work from Alex. Good strength, good body control. Already missed 1 jump shot, but he knew his team needed a basket, and he steps up.
That's a 41-year-old taking it straight at a near 7-footer.
Yeah.
And he completes the 3-point play. Gets the reward for that aggressiveness. Brazil by 7. Marcinkovic. Here's Bilan up against Hetzheimer, spins baseline, misses the shot. Alex looking to show he can still run. Hetzheimer takes a deep one on the trail. Bogdanovic the rebound, looking left and right down the floor. 3-point shot, Giordano. It's just not dropping for Croatia right now.
Oh, they've been struggling from 3 for 10. Got some good looks as well, but once more, first game for Croatia. Still trying to find that rhythm as a team.
Yago. Benite going across far side, trying to get free. Yago taking the ring road around the defense. Steps on the baseline, though, as Bilan sticks with him.
A great defense from Croatia. Yesterday, Yago in those same positions, always able to find the out, usually for somebody who was looking to shoot it. This time, look, trying to find somebody, nobody there. Knows he's got to create on his own because the shot clock's winding down. Bilan ready for it. Credit to the Croatian defense.
And that's why we said after the game yesterday that maybe Marcelino Huertas gets longer minutes than Yago in the point guard position for Brazil. Bogdanovic for 3. A long time still for him to be the hero here tonight and in this tournament, but it's not happened yet. Benite. Yago hit a couple of 3s yesterday, passes on the responsibility to Alex, who continues to bring it.
Oh, he just finds a way to get it done, doesn't he, Alex? That unconventional shooting action, but knocks down the 3, playing great defense against Bogdanovic, doing everything that they want from him.
Brazil lead by double digits again here. Final 4 minutes coming up of the first half. Bilan, little hook shot for him. And a big man with the soft hands.
I like them going to him on the low post. I think, as I said, this is tough for Bilan down this end of the floor. So use him with his advantage in that low block. Get him some touches.
Alex Hetzheimer rolls inside. Alex couldn't thread it past Bilan, though, and it's Croatia ball.
Alex tried to make a pass, it just wasn't there. It came off the legs of Bilan, but he didn't do anything, didn't move his legs at all, didn't move the feet, so it's not a kick violation. And it clipped Alex on the way out, giving it back to Croatia.
Rogic to Ukic.
Ukic started strongly, didn't he? He's been out for a long time.
Ukic on the bounce towards the basket, looking back out. Hezonja on the perimeter. Steps back behind the 3-point line.
It's going to be a technical foul, yeah. Coach Atso is going nuts on the sideline.
He's on the floor.
Yeah. And the crowd love it as well.
The Croatian fans are right behind the Croatian coach of Brazil.
I see a couple of Petrovic jerseys in the crowd enjoying this moment. So this is I think this is the first time we see Hezonja. You can see Coach Petrovic on the floor in the back. He wanted to travel against Hezonja. That's why he's been complaining. But first time for Hezonja and Bogdanovic on the floor at the same time. If I'm Croatia, with the way Bogdanovic has started, and you know, he's just missed a free throw as well, I play through Hezonja still. So play through Hazonia, let Bogdanovic just spot up, see if the defense is going to help against Hazonia, and that'll get him a couple of good, easy looks to get going.
Bogdanovic now scoreless in 11 minutes. Missed 2 field goal attempts and the free throw off the technical.
But it's the turnovers as well. He's been the primary playmaker, so they keep going to him, and he just hasn't found his rhythm. So for me, that's what I say. Go to Hazonia, let him run some pick and roll, get a nice, easy look if you can for Bogdanovic, where he hasn't had to create it himself. You can let Hazonia take that load.
Not much time left on the shot clock. Hazonia takes it with a hand in his face, misses, rebound secured by Benite. Out of bounds off the knee or the thigh of Benite, says the official on this near side. Benite, well, you can see what he thinks about it. He's adamant. We might never know. Ukic. He's hit a 3 already, he hits another one. The captain coming to the fore when Croatia need him. Benite drives baseline, defense a little late. Ukic there on the defensive end as well, though. Croatia back within 5, can make it a 1-possession game now in the final 3 minutes of the first half. Ukic is feeling it from deep, not that time. Yago has got a couple of assists already. Alex, fouled by Ukic. And then after that, the 41-year-old just showing he can still go to the skies.
Yeah, it's incredible what he's able to do, Alex, on the floor. I said yesterday, you know, usually the defense is the first thing to go as the legs get a little older, but he has not lost a step defensively at all. So active, so strong in the defensive stance, but, you know, is able to anticipate and read passing lanes, come up with steals as well.
Yago 8 on the shot clock. Hetzheimer poised on the perimeter, so too is Mendel far side. Misses it though, Bilan the rebound.
Breakdown from Hazonia. That's the first time they've helped on Yago from the perimeter, and it gave up an open 3 to Brazil.
Bogdanovic desperate to get going, and he does, to the delight of the home fans.
Yeah, he might have got away with a little push-off there, but fans don't care. Bogdanovic gets his first field goal.
It's taken 12 minutes on court for him. And there's a whistle here as Croatia looks to come away in transition. It will remain in Brazil hands.
Petrovic is over there complaining for a call that he's already been given. He wants a timeout.
The timeout comes in the final 2 minutes of a tight, intense and tenacious first half. Brazil have led by double figures on a couple of occasions. The lead now, though, just 3 points.
I'm enjoying this one. I think both teams playing their part. Croatia, yeah, little by little, finding that comfort level. Still, if they could get Bogdanovic to back to what we know he's able to do, you know. For Brazil, after such a strong start, they've kind of lost their way a little. I don't think they found that fluidity on the offensive end they had in the early stages.
Brazil had 25 points, remember, in the first quarter, just 12 points over the first 8 and a bit minutes of the second quarter. Here's the first basket of this tournament, the first points of this tournament for Bogdanovic, having missed 3 shots before that. That's the push-off you're talking about against Luz. He's the big attraction here at the Spaladium Arena for this crowd. Bogdanovic, who's taken his game to the next level this season, averaged 18.1 points in the NBA playoffs on 46% three-point shooting. Around 600 games now in the NBA. Yago around Hetzheimer, around Bilan too, so fast. Finds the pass to Hetzheimer, who'll go to the line for 2. Fourth foul on Croatia here in the second.
He's so good at getting to the lane, Iago. That's the, you know, the thing that he can do. And even though he's small and isn't a great finisher, he gets to the lane so open that you have to come and help. And when you help, he's just ready to make the pass on the money to somebody. So he's found Hetzheimer, he's found shooters all day yesterday as well.
Athletically and with the ball in his hands, he's so quick, but he's quick and in control at the same time, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's the poise. So often you see guards, they get to the lane and they're eager to make a play. He's not in any hurry whatsoever. He knows something's going to be there, just has that poise with the ball in his hands.
Final minute and a half of the first half. Brazil by 4 from deep this time. Bogdanovic misses offensive rebound. Ukic, fresh 14 on the shot clock. Ukic goes onto the left, away from Luz, confronted by Hetzheimer. Rebound Mendel.
Haven't shot it well at all, Croatia. Had a lot of good looks on the outside.
The entry pass from distance from Luz into Hetzheimer and a foul. First on Bogdanovic.
Just one team foul against Brazil in this quarter. They play good defense without fouling.
It's double figures in scoring now for Hetzheimer in this first half. 10 points in 12 minutes after 11 points in 12.5 minutes through the full game yesterday. Misses the second free throw though. Bogdanovic has to battle over on the far side. Mendel throws the ball back against him. And the Brazil bench up on their feet. And they may well get the call that they're looking for, and they have done. Bogdanovic grabbed the rebound, had it popped away. Another turnover on him. That's 4 turnovers in 13 minutes for Bogdanovic. .65 seconds remaining in the first half. Brazil by 5. Iago, he's got 3 assists already. This time takes the shot himself. Wanted a foul, doesn't get it. Croatia not hanging around. Rogic to Ukic onto the corner. Bogdanovic for the triple. No, he's 1 of 5 from the field now. And you wondered whether that first 2-pointer would get him going. He's missed a couple of threes and committed a turnover since then.
And then a foul, which is going to be 2 shots at the other end. So kind of, you know, I like the effort of Rogic, but we've got to be smart. We'll see. Yeah, it's not there to be won. Commits the foul. It's just the shooting of Croatia. That's really the difference in this game. If you look at the 3-point shooting, 4 of 15 for Croatia, 4 of 9 for Brazil. So they've turned a couple of those missed threes of Croatia. You know, Brazil have taken 2s and scored them and got themselves to the line. And that's the difference right here.
Luz at the line, part of the Brazil side that competed at the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Also won silver as a teenager a decade ago at the Americas Championships. He's put Brazil up by 6 with 45.5 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll go to the benches for a timeout.
Timeout by Croatia. They'll go 2 for 1 here. So plenty of time for them to run an offense, make sure they have enough time to get 2 possessions out of this. Hopefully only 1 for Brazil. That's going to be the aim for them. So if they can score twice, I mean 2 threes, it could be a tight game at the half. They haven't shot it well. And we said in the last game, didn't we? At that stage, right before the half, it was Paco Cruz 0 for 5 for 3. We said how they would love to get him a 3, get him a little confidence and motivation, you know, get him some rhythm to go into the second half, and all of a sudden, second half he was electric. And the same thing happened here for Croatia. Can they get Bogdanovic a good shot? Can they get somebody going here right before the half? A little bit of momentum and, you know, something to talk about, some positivity at the break after a, you know, pretty rough half for them.
Well, what you'd say, we've said it for a few of the games already in this tournament, is yes, it's been a rough half. They're only down by 6, and things can only get better.
Oh, and again, it's been a rough half because they haven't played at the level they want. But this game is not going to make or break their tournament. There's a long way to go. You know, as you just mentioned, they're right there anyway, having not even played at their best.
Hezonja. Rogic looking to slip it in towards Bilan, and a foul. It's only Brazil's second of the quarter.
Brazil are going to use these fouls here to try and stop a good shot. They've made some subs, taken key guys out. Jorginho's in. You know, so guys, they don't mind committing fouls to try and make it difficult for Croatia.
They've got 2 more to give. Bogdanovic. Now Ukic. Croatia's leading scorer on 8 points. 2 threes he's knocked down already. Intercepted as he was looking for Bogdanovic in the corner, and a unsportsmanlike foul.
No, it's, they've called a regular one. Let's have a look if they go and look at it.
An unsportsmanlike foul that Brazil were after. Coach Ato Petrovic certainly signalling that towards the officials.
It's often where they're looking. And you see Hezonja, when he commits the foul, he's not even looking at the man. He's just looking kind of past him with a trailing arm. So I think if they go to the monitor, which the referees are doing, this could be an unsportsmanlike.
There has to be a legitimate attempt to play the ball. And the officials are going across to have a look at it.
We just said there's a long time to go, you know, not panic stations, but this is a big goal. Croatia turn it over, it could be 2 points, and then, you know, the possession for Brazil that they can hold and stop Croatia getting another possession from. In fact, Croatia will get the ball because there'll be sideline possession, with a 14-second clock for Brazil. So they will get 1 shot, but they can run it down themselves.
Yeah, so it's going to be, by the sounds of it, unsportsmanlike.
He's just chasing the player. For me, this is unsportsmanlike foul. Consider 2-3. You confirm this? Okay, thank you.
The fans won't like it. We'll get confirmation. We talked about it not being too bad for Croatia despite not playing too well. Well, that kind of turns it around, doesn't it? Because there is now the possibility, if Brazil play their cards right, of opening up a double-digit lead at half-time. And before, we were talking about Croatia going 2 for 1 and only being down by 6.
Yeah, so often these last minutes of quarters are important. So Brazil, they've got the opportunity now, 2 from the line, plus possession. For Croatia, we talked about getting some confidence, you know, some rhythm offensively, perhaps Bogdanovic hitting a shot or, you know, something along those lines, but instead, terrible turnover. They'd looked devoid of ideas on the offensive end. And Ukic makes a bad cross-court pass straight to the Brazilian defenders. So they'll go in, rather than feeling confident and getting some of that kind of rhythm, arguably they could feel even worse than they did a minute ago.
They turned the ball over looking for Bogdanovic. Is that because they're so desperate to get him going to have that lift at halftime?
Well, I'm not sure, because they didn't really run the play for him. I know they put him in the spot, perhaps trying to draw the help. They could get him in the corner, but, you know, I don't think he was ever there. I don't think they ever created the advantage that he was going to have the opportunity. So I'm not sure it was necessarily a play for him. It just didn't work, whatever it was, that's for sure.
Plenty of star power in this Croatian team. None brighter than Bogdanovic, but it's Brazil playing more as a team right now. And they've had that warm-up against Tunisia yesterday, which has helped them in that regard. But Coach Petrovic's team are bringing it against the hosts here tonight. An 8-point advantage, and because of the unsportsmanlike foul, they get the ball back. There's an 8-second differential between shot and game clock at the end of the second quarter. Loose to Hetzheimer. They don't need to rush this offense as they go inside to Hetzheimer. He draws the double team, back out Benite. Lou's got the defense up in the air, back to Hetzheimer. He takes the contested three, and he gets nothing but nylon. It's an 11-point Brazil lead with 6.8 to play in the first half. So we talked, only 40 seconds ago about Croatia maybe trying to make it just a one-possession game at halftime. Now they'll be happy just to make it a single-digit game at halftime. Rogic, stripped, lost it, and Brazil will take an 11-point lead into the halftime locker room. They're looking to upset the hosts with coach Aco Petrovic back in Croatia. And his Brazil team lead 45-34 at halftime here at the Spaladium Arena.
It's all about the Brazilian performance right now. Both ends of the floor, they have executed the way they would have hoped coming into this one. Look at those percentages for Brazil. 63% for two, 50% for three. Croatia not really at the races, especially shooting the ball from the perimeter, and so often we know that if you make those jump shots, it means it's easier for you to get back on defense. You miss them, and the other team, especially the way Brazil play, they're coming at you in transition.
13 points in as many minutes from Hetzheimer to lead all scorers in the game. 4 of 6 shooting for him. Again, it's been a balanced approach from Brazil, though. 8 points from Luz, 7 from Caboclo, 7 from Mendel. Different players stepping up. So many options for Brazil. And so much disappointment so far for those Croatian fans, but plenty of time to get back in it, back in business, not just here in this one tonight, but in this tournament. They would still go through to the semi-finals if they lost this one and beat Tunisia tomorrow. But Brazil have been brilliant here under the guidance of the Croatian coach, Aco Petrovic. They didn't even score 45 points in a half against Tunisia yesterday. We asked the question whether they could do it against a higher level opponent. They've been even better than they were yesterday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the impressive thing I think they'll be most pleased about, Benite just 3 points. Boates not to score. It's been the other guys in many ways, and that's probably a disservice to some really high-quality players like Hetzheimer, who's an MVP of the Basketball Champions League in America. But at the same time, it's been a really good team performance from Brazil. Everybody playing the role that they're supposed to, and all the pieces fitting together nicely.
And speaking of pieces, we just saw a highlight or two from Ante Zizic there. He picked up a couple of fouls, didn't he, and made a big difference in just 3 minutes on court before going back to the bench. That's when it started to swing in Croatia's favor. 6 points in 3 minutes for him. He might be a key component in a comeback in the second half for them.
Yeah, Croatia just haven't got going. This very much looks like a first half performance for them of the first game of a tournament. They did play games in preparation. 4 times they played, 2 against Slovenia, 2 against Puerto Rico, but only 1 game with everybody in the lineup. So, you know, it looks for them like they're still trying to find that rhythm, both ends of the floor. But, you know, again, they will want to perform better. There's no excuses for them coming out of this game saying, well, it was our first one. They'll want to start improving in this second half.
Brazil looking the business right now. Croatia have taken lots of those three-point shots. They're only 4 of 15 on the outside, though. And Alex, the personification of the Brazilian character, Bogdanovic. That's his only score so far. Bogdanovic 1 of 5 from the field for just those 2 points. He's also missed a free throw. We'll expect more from him and from Croatia when we return for the second half. They're down by 11.
Balcony going to mount up on Barrett with the finish and the scream. First game for these two teams here in Victoria, Canada at the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament. Batista sends it home over Ilyasova. Osman, hesitation. Oh, another one. Counted and the foul.
Oh, almost a back pull and turned over. That's just sloppy. The veteran Mingas wasn't really expecting. Oh, what a block.
Yeah, you got to keep your hands up. And Solano avoids the foul. Oh! He hit the runway. How about that? And Serbia trying to stop the play with the reach.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
Welcome back to the Spaladium Arena in Split. We'll take a look at the leading scorers of each of the two teams here. Brazil up by 11 over Croatia at halftime, led by this man, Hafa Hetzheimer, who's got 13 points in as many minutes, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 on the inside, 2 of 3 on the outside, 3 of 5 at the foul line as well. Very efficient, as he was yesterday against Tunisia. And as he has been through the course of the season in the Basketball Champions League Americas. And that's the thing with this Brazil team, is they're all capable of contributing. They're all scoring. Every single one of them that took to the floor yesterday scored. Most of them got 6 points or more. They're all confident. And they all trust in each other. Croatia led by their captain, Roko Ukic. 8 points in 11 minutes for him so far. 3 of 5 from the field. He's got 3 assists to lead them creatively as well, and a steal. But he needs a bit of help. Nobody else really stepping up at the moment.
I don't think Croatia are going to be too flustered right now. There's a lot of time to go. A lot of performance, improvement to come from them. So I think, the most important thing for them, win or lose this game, is the improvement in the second half. And that's something they've got to try and look to do. Coach Petrovic has said for a period of time now that this game is unimportant. He told people before playing today that, Brazil weren't intent on winning this game, because these two teams were going to meet again in the final. He was going to hold and wait some of his cards back. Now, I didn't see, obviously, Benite and Huertas coming off the bench. Maybe that card he's holding. But Brazil, 11 points at the half. That strategy is probably the only one he's got wrong so far. Coach Petrovic, when he says his team is going to lose this game and they're winning so comfortably.
I mean, if that's his mindset, you really wouldn't know it, would you? It's as if Brazil are treating this game as the final right now. They're playing with a great intensity, great fluidity and confidence. As we see the leaders in the various categories, Yago impressing again, 3 assists for him off the bench to lead Brazil creatively in 9 minutes on court. But you don't want to write off any team in professional sport, do you? But Croatia can, to a certain extent, treat this almost as their final warm-up game, can't they? Because, I mean, it would be one of the great shocks if they didn't beat Tunisia here tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think the most important thing for them is to try and find some rhythm. So just to play better in the second half. win or lose doesn't really matter for them. They can just look to tomorrow. Obviously, they won't take Tunisia lightly, I'm sure. But they'll get a second chance for victory in that game. But they just haven't played at their best. I think that will be their frustrating side. How we've talked that Brazil's played so well, like Hetzheimer, we see walking through the picture there having 13 points. It's things like that that will frustrate Croatia. They haven't been able to take Brazil out of their game. Yes, they've kind of kept Benitez and Huertas in the backcourt quiet, but apart from that, you can't really look at anything that Croatia has done to change this game in the way that Brazil have done it.
Croatia have played 3 previous Olympic qualifying tournaments and managed to win all of them. 1992, and they went on to win silver at the Games, 2008 and 2016. Prior to tonight, they've won 16 out of 19 Olympic qualifying tournament games, including the 2 they played against teams from the Americas, and done so by an average of 18 points. They're not having it anywhere near all their own way against Brazil tonight, as we see their leaders in the different categories. Ukic with the 8 points and 3 assists. But they're only down by 11 in this one, and with the talent that they possess, they're still certainly capable of a comeback over the next 20 minutes. Brazil are hoping to win their first 2 games of an Olympic qualifying tournament for only the second time. They also did it in 1976. They've lost 3 of their last 4 against European teams in one of these competitions. But you can forget the history. This Brazilian team means business here in Split.
What do you want to see in the second half from your players? Just maintain the focus, keep a difficult life to Bogdanovic and Hezonja, because we knew it that it's not normal that Bogdanovic is only on a 3 points. We need to even calculate it that he's going to make some shots, but continue to play with our game. And avoid what we have 3 minutes, blackout. When we permit 3 times easy penetration, and it means 6 points by Gigi. That's the thing what we don't want to receive in the second half. Thank you very much.
The thoughts of coach Atso Petrovic, the Croatian who's leading Brazil here in Split. We'll get the thoughts as well of the Croatia head coach Veljko Mrsic.
Coach, your team is trailing by 11. What do you have to improve in the second half?
We need to improve a lot of things. We need to be more aggressive. We was not bad in defense. Of course, we didn't score our shots. We have a lot of open shots, but we didn't score. This is the main thing. But I think that we need to be more aggressive, because this is the only way that we're going to come back in the game. We have talk in the locker room, and I hope all the players are ready. In these 20 minutes, we need to be full.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
The thoughts on the words of the 2 head coaches from a head coach alongside me, Lloyd Gardner, head coach of the Manchester Giants. What did you make of the thoughts of Coach Petrovic and Coach Mrsic?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we've discussed, Brazil will be happy. They'll say they played well. It was interesting, Coach Petrovic, 2 things that I think he said was, first of all, that they made mistakes when you come into the game. So it'd be interesting to see what corrections they make as Ante Žižić comes back in that second half. And then, of course, he said, Bogdanovic is going to get going in the second half. You can't stop a player like him. So it's how they react when Bogdanovic starts to get going. On the other side, I think, the aggression of Croatia, that's true. They need to do it. And again, they missed shots. We could be talking about a completely different game if some of those 3-point misses where they're 4 of 15, 2 or 3 of them had dropped. Not only is that more points for their total, but as we said, some of those rebounds, some of those misses went to long rebounds. Long rebounds led to the opportunity to run or open floor for Brazil, where they've been exceptional.
And even discounting those transitions that Brazil have had, you look at Bogdanovic, he's had a couple of open threes. He's shot the ball so well from distance in the NBA this past season. He makes 2 of those threes. It's only a 5-point game, so a huge difference at the moment. Just making shots. You can bet Bogdanovic will make a few in the second half.
We touched on it, points from turnovers or turnovers in total. Brazil have 10 turnovers, Croatia have 9. But the big thing is that, you know, what Brazil have been able to do is turn those turnovers into points. So that they've got 15 points from turnovers, only 9 for Croatia. So the turnovers that Croatia have had have led to easy points for Brazil, and not the other way around, which is important. Not to just look at the isolation, but you think of some of those plays of Bogdanovic early. He's lost it. Brazil, again, same as on the rebounding, they've gone the other way, and they've got some easy baskets.
This split crowd here at the Palladium Arena trying to get behind their team as they take to the court again for the second half, trailing by 11. We're allowed up to a 40% capacity crowds here. It's an 11,000 capacity arena. It's fairly full over on the far side. And Croatia will need their 6th man here in the second half. Brazil start with the ball and an 11-point lead here in the second half, and straight away a foul on Hezonja.
I don't think they'll mind that. Said they want to be more aggressive. That's them being aggressive. Big changes to their lineup. Hezonja and Bogdanovic together. Zizic in as well to start this second half.
Zizic only playing 3 minutes in the first half, but picking up 2 fouls. Hetzheimer 3. Well, Hetzheimer's the hitman for Brazil right now.
Yeah, but Zizic has to stay with the ball. If you're asking him to stay with the ball, you can't ask him to get to the pick and pop of Hetzheimer. And we've seen that's what he wants to do. You have to take that away.
Here's Zizic again, challenged by Caboclo. A mid-air collision and a huge defensive play by the Brazilian. Muscle meeting muscle mid-air. Jorginho up against Bogdanovic. Backs out behind the 3-point line. Bogdanovic looking to stick with him, one-on-one here. Jorginho showing no fear against the superstar, but good defense, Bogdanovic, and well saved on the baseline by Hezonja. Marcinkovic trying to play it on one further into the corner to Ukic, but intercepted and out of bounds it goes.
And where they said that we haven't played at our best, it's plays like that for Croatia. We see the block from Caboclo, incredible athleticism from him, but you know, that should be a wide open 3 last possession for Croatia. Had numbers advantage, they've got to get a clean look.
Bogdanovic. Pass was deflected. Luz picked up the pieces. Jorginho in transition, come Brazil again. Mendel challenged mid-air. Caboclo. Here's the human highlight reel for Brazil right now.
Another turnover, more points. So it's turnover to transition, it's missed 3 to transition, it's points, you know, in the open floor for Brazil. These are easy points. And, you know, when you look at the scoreboard, they've got close to 50 now. They've been just getting the scoreboard to tick over. It's plays like this that help. If you've always got to do it in the half court the way Croatia have, it's difficult. And for Brazil, same thing. If they score, it means they can set their defense, which means it's easier for them to guard Croatia.
You talked about it before the start of the second half. 10 turnovers each now, but it doesn't feel like that, does it?
No.
Brazil very much making the most of those Croatian mishaps. Ukic. Brazil lead by 15 now. Zizic off to Ukic. They space the floor. Bogdanovic and Marcinkovic on this near side. Zizic and Ukic in the center. Ukic takes it, doesn't make it, but he will go to the line for 2.
Well, we thought the threat for Croatia was going to be Hezonja, Bogdanovic, running pick and roll, being kind of the creative force, but it's been Ukic really that's done it. Captain since 2010 for this Croatian national team. You know, he's the one stepping up.
One of 3 Croatians playing in his hometown here in Split in this tournament. He's looking to go to his 3rd Olympics after 2008 and 2016. His dad is actually a drummer in a Split-based rock band called the Obala. Rocco still to really get this arena to rock tonight. They might change that now, Croatia. Hezonja drives to the basket, fouled on the way.
Well, turnover to points the other way. And this time, really, Croatia got lucky. It was a great play in the end by Hezonja. He got lost down on the perimeter. Jorginho had beaten him on the drive, just kind of lost his way, Hezonja, but had the ability to just, you know, reach in, tip it away. And that's led to this easy points from the line for him.
Hezonja with 5 of his 7 points coming from the stripe tonight. Add one more to that tally. He's a perfect 6 of 6 there. Only 1 of 6 from the field. Mendel gets away from Bogdanovic. Turns it over, though, as he runs into Ante Žižić, and down the floor come Croatia in transition again. And it's Rocco once more.
Well, both teams struggling to look after the ball right now. Best offense is defense for both teams.
10 points in 13 minutes for Rocco Ukic. Hetzheimer, as the whistles and the jeers rain down from this split crowd onto the Brazilian offense. And forcing the miss, but an offensive rebound from Caboclo. Third time lucky, perhaps, for Brazil. Volleying Croatia on the boards.
Yeah, you can't be happy with that if you're Croatia. 2 offensive rebounds on the same possession.
Marcinkovic onto the corner. Bogdanovic shoots it over the top of Jorginho and gets the fans on their feet.
Well, Coach Petrovic said he knows that Bogdanovic is going to get going. And I think that could help him. Just, you know, take a little pressure off him now. Gets a good, clean look at a shot.
Missed his first 3 threes before hitting that one. Caboclo to try and answer back with 1 for Brazil, and he strings it.
Bogdanovic got right into Jorginho, too close. Jorginho blew past him and drew the help.
Bogdanovic will take it off one leg inside this time and gets his geometry spot on. 5 quick-fire points for the superstar.
And now he's starting to get going, isn't he? Now it could get interesting. Bogdanovic starting to find that range. Can Hezonja and Žižić get going for Croatia as well?
1 field goal in the whole of the first half. He's got 2 in the last minute. Mendel slips it inside. Hetzheimer went for the big finish. Caboclo, he's denied as well. Croatia putting up a defensive wall. Ante Žižić in transition, got it and won.
I love Žižić. I think, you know, he's what every big man should be. He plays so hard, great hands, excellent finish around the basket. They missed him when he wasn't able to play in that first half. They really did. Big defensive play for Croatia, first of all from Hezonja. But Žižić, how is he the first man down the floor? You know, just great effort.
The 2 meters 10 center, getting the length of the floor for the finish. Under pressure as well. And now a chance to complete the 3-point play and to get Croatia back within 8, having trailed by 15.
What you forget about Žižić, only 24. You know, it feels like he's been around a long time. Played in Europe, played in the NBA, now back in Europe, but still so young.
Jorginho onto Caboclo. Caboclo to Alex in the corner. He's hit one already. He'll hit another one. And Brazil get it back. A costly Croatian turnover, perhaps. You have to save it at centre court. It's a backcourt violation against Brazil, and Croatia get away with that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating for Brazil. It's a great play for them to get the steal. Lutz was, you know, really heady play from him to get a turnover, but they couldn't capitalize.
Ukic to Hezonja. Bogdanovic loses it again, sandwiched by Luz and Alex. 5th turnover on Bogdanovic. Marcelino Puertas working with Hetzheimer. He's hit a couple already. There's another one, this time over the top of Žižić, but it doesn't go. Bogdanovic Still wants the ball in his hands, spins away from Huertas. Nice pass to the corner. Ukic moves it on. Brazil keeping up with Croatia on the perimeter, though. And the deep three from Hezonja. Žižić, offensive foul as he went for the rebound.
Another missed three for Croatia. Still, that's the one thing they haven't really got going. I know that, you know, Bogdanovic made one. That's a clean look for Hezonja. He's wide open. There's not much contact either on the rebound. Two big bodies going at it.
It goes down as a defensive foul, of course, on the offensive rebound attempt. It's the third personal on Žižić. Marcelino Huertas, Hetzheimer rolling inside. Creates the space for Caboclo, far side. And Brazil land another big blow.
Well, we talk about three-point shooting. That's a third make for Caboclo, right? Yeah, 3 of 4. He's played 18 minutes. He's got 13 points.
It's the 8-3 from Brazil at 53% accuracy as a team. Ukic. Brazil lead by 13 again. Hezonja, shot clock ticking to the final 2 seconds. Is Hezonja aware? Ukic had to throw it up after catching mid-air, and look what it means to Brazil to force the shot clock violation.
So another offense just shows the disjointed nature of Croatia right now. You know, Hezonja second-guessing what he's going to do. He's isolated, the shot clock's winding down. He's just got to have the confidence in that situation to take it on himself. But that is the lack of prep for me. That plays like that, where no one quite knows their role, no one quite knows what they're supposed to do in different situations.
Marcelino Huertas bringing the ball over centre court, trapped by Rogic. Caboclo gets inside this time after being such a threat on the perimeter, and he produces another Brazilian blockbuster.
He is absolutely torching Croatia right now. Caboclo, what hasn't he done? Couple of offensive rebounds, run the floor, spaced out onto the perimeter, knocking down the three. And now for the first time, we see him coming off screens, putting it on the floor and getting to the basket. Really impressive performance from Caboclo. And he's another guy, we just talked about the age, he's only 25 as well.
He had a breakout season in the NBA with the Grizzlies a couple of seasons ago, fell out of favour the following season, and then moved to Limoges in France. So another young player that's been to the NBA and then come back to Europe. He had the play of the day yesterday with a big dunk over Mejri against Tunisia. He might be the player of the day today.
Well, I don't think coming in, we'd have guessed Brazil's 2 leading scorers would be Caboclo and Hetzheimer, and that they would be leading by 15. I think if you told me that those 2 were the leading scorers, I'd say Brazil would be trailing. But they, you know, and that's probably a mistake on my part, because Caboclo's been fantastic, and Brazil look like they're happy with that. They don't need Benitez, they don't need these other guys to really play well because of the great depth that they have.
We saw a bit of this from Hetzheimer yesterday, but aside from that big dunk, not too much from Caboclo. Of course, Vitor Benitez was the big offensive weapon against Tunisia. He's only got 3 points tonight, so Brazil showing they've got a full attacking arsenal, an array of weapons. They've unloaded several of them on Croatia tonight to lead by 15. Rogic, 3-point shot, rims out, and Hetzheimer gets to the rebound. It's a 4th foul on Croatia.
It was the foul on Caboclo, holding back Shakic as he went after the rebound.
It's a 3rd foul on Caboclo. It's a 4th foul on Brazil.
Could be the only thing that slows Caboclo down the way he's been playing. You know, the fact he's got to sub out for fouls. Petkovic isn't moving on that bench. Looks like he's going to leave him.
Žižić, back to Rogic. Bogdanovic to Rogic again, around the perimeter it goes for the 3-point shot. Far side, the unlikely hero, perhaps, Antonio Giordano, the 22-year-old.
Well, he's coming off a strong season, Giordano. He plays for Coach Mrsic, for Zadar.
So the Croatian title against Split recently. Protas with the pass into Hetzheimer. He goes to the line to try and hit 20 points, the leading scorer in this ball game.
Well, Huertas is the master at that middle ball screen, and we just haven't seen it at all so far today. You know, even yesterday we barely saw him. So I think, again, it's another thing that shows the depth of this Brazilian team, that they don't need Huertas to be that offensive force in every possession. They can pick and choose when they do go to him.
You talk about the different players that have stepped up with the points. You just have to look at the assists tonight, and there's 4 players with 3 or 4 assists, nobody more than that, so they've spread the creative responsibility around as well. And Bogdanovic sees the bank open here tonight in Split.
I think that's kind of summed up his night so far. Off the glass, straight on, definitely not intended from him.
They'll take it at the Spaladium Arena as he hits 10 points. Marcelino Huertas. On it goes to Benite. Benite slicing through, misses the shot.
Now number 4 on Zizic.
Second on Rogic.
Shakic. Up, yeah. Just trying to figure out who it was on, because it was on the rebound, that's for sure. His body's battling. I thought it was Zizic in there, but they've given it to Shakic instead.
.5 minutes to go. It's only a 10-point game, as good as Brazil have been.
Well, Hetzheimer, 60% from the field, 60% for 3, 50% from the free throw line. Incredible, really. We should just step back and take a couple of threes rather than from the free throw line.
5 of 9 now. Hetzheimer makes it an 11-point lead. Many fouls from either defense for the remainder of this quarter. We'll see the opposition offense to the foul line. Roko Rogic. Giordano onto Bogdanovic around the high screen to Planinic and clattered. We just talked about the foul trouble for both teams. There might be even deeper trouble for Brazil here.
Okay, bring it like this here. Okay, nothing. 15,
Not sure what they're looking at.
no foul. Number 10, hold. 2 shots.
Yeah, regular foul.
Yeah, I don't see what. I think they were just being cautious, looking at it. But Alex tried to get the arms through the gap to create some space. It was a foul against him, even though he's claiming it should go against Planinic. So Bogdanovic to the line. You know, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. I was lucky to be there in Turin in 2016 when Akso Petrovic was coaching Croatia. Bogdanovic was just incredible in leading Croatia through the qualifying tournament and into the Rio Games. You know, 25 points a game, or 24 points a game he was. He just couldn't be stopped by anybody. It has not been a performance at that level so far here tonight.
He is, though, up to 12 points. And Croatia determined to stay in the fight, only down by 9. Benite, he's only got 3 points. After 15 yesterday. Varejao battling with Planinic to get his shot away. Doesn't drop for him. Croatia want the rebound. They don't get it. And a fresh 14 for Brazil.
And that's a criminal mistake from Croatia. They had 3 guys there Brazil only had Huertas and one other, and Huertas it is with the offensive rebound.
And they don't pay the price. Bogdanovic gets the ball in his hands. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Planinic rolls inside. Bogdanovic goes the other way. Šakić shoots the three, and a whistle for the collision underneath. Varejao down flat on his back. Taking his time to get back up as well. Anderson Varejao, a 38-year-old who's played over 700 games in the NBA. A bit of whiplash.
Yeah, I think he took a shot in the face more than anything.
To shake off the cobwebs to shoot two. Played under 14 minutes yesterday, but still had 9 points and 8 rebounds. Averaged 7.2 points, 7.2 boards over those near 700 games in 14 NBA seasons. He's put Brazil back up by double figures. Rogic directing traffic. Waves Giordano away. Bogdanovic around Planinic. And Varejao kept up with Bogdanovic. The two NBAers going body to body. Varejao hadn't played in a couple of months before rejoining the Cavs late this past season. Rogic going through the gears all the way to the baseline, but throws it to us over in the commentary position. Approaching the final minute of the third, Brazil still by 11. Marcelino Huertas leads Brazil creatively with 4 assists, but they've really spread them around. Benite. Inside to Varejao, spun away from Planinic to score.
Brazil just such a threat off that ball screen. You know, the big man's got to stay, and that's leaving Varejao open. And it's Caboclo waiting in the corner, so you can't help off him. He's 3 of 4 from 3. You're picking your poison if you're Croatia. And right now, Brazil taking the right option. Here you see, look, Šakić is trying to play cat and mouse in that corner because he knows Caboclo's just standing there. And if the ball goes to Caboclo and he's not ready to get out to him, it's 3 points rather than the 2 he's just given up.
Bogdanovic at the line, misses. And he's only 2 of 4 from the stripe.
Well, I've been kind, but it's just been an awful performance from him. To be fair, a player of his quality, you know, it's just not been a memorable night at all for Bogdanovic.
And if you're going to have an awful performance in this tournament, perhaps this is the game to do it in. As Marcelino Huertas gets free, and Brazil keep on firing. 14 the lead, final seconds of the third quarter. Bogdanovic determined to change his night around. Long 2 from the far side, doesn't go. Caboclo with a long reach for the rebound. Shot clock turned off at the end of the third quarter. Brazil could make it the out-and-out largest lead of the night, heading into the fourth, if they can get a score here. Marcelino Huertas working with Varejao. Gets inside again. Benite with the score. Only his second field goal. And Coach Petrovic's team showing they just have so many weapons. At the end of 3, they lead by 16, 71-55 over Croatia.
Oh, the problem for the Croatian defense is the way that Brazil have played offensively. First of all, they shared the ball. They got the 3-point shooters. They've knocked down shots. So now the Croatian defense is spread a little bit more because of the 53% 3-point shooting. Now, because the defense is spread out, they're allowing the roll man to be open. And then once Brazil have done that at 55% at the front of the ring, now they're leaving the roll man or leaving the ball handler to get back quicker to the roll man. And what does that do? Leaves the man with the ball, that little bit of space, and we've seen back-to-back drives and finishes from the Brazilian guards. So great patience from Brazil. Questions to be asked for Croatia, and really for me, you know, the only person defensively that's been able to really guard that ball screen effectively is Žižić, but he's got 3 fouls, he's gone to the bench, and that's the problem for Croatia. They haven't had an answer apart from that.
Yeah, Ante Žižić has been a key component for Croatia. He's been the man that's really made them tick when they've been on the floor. And the pivotal player at centre. He's got 9 points in his 10 minutes, 4 of 5 shooting, but when he's been on the bench, Brazil have been dominant. 3-point shooting, key to that 8 of 15 on the outside for 53% for Brazil, as well as the big highlight reel finishes from Caboclo on the interior. Croatia, Lloyd, have taken more 3-point shots than they have 2-point shots. What does that tell you about their offense tonight?
Well, I think what it does tell you is where we heard at the half that, you know, the coaching staff from Croatia wanted them to be more aggressive. They haven't done that. They haven't done that at all. And again, if you're not going to make the threes, it becomes harder to get good quality looks. So it's a tough ask right now for Croatia.
They start with the ball and need a huge fourth quarter, down by 16.
You know, for me, if you've got Hezonja on your team, as I said in the first half, you have to accept he might take a couple of bad shots, but he is a scorer. He's got a scoring mindset, and you've got to use that. So when he's out there on the floor, don't make him the passer, the guy who moves it on. Run the plays for him to get shots, and you almost have to say, we're going to get you shots when you're out there. We're going to live or die by you making these shots or creating great ones. If you're not making them, we'll sub you out. But if you are making them, let's ride the back of what you can do.
And you talk about being aggressive on offense for Croatia. Yes, he's only 1 of 7 from the field, but he's got to the line to go 6 of 6.
Yeah, and I think he's only 1 of 7 because there's a little hesitation from him about what his role is and what they want him to do.
Here's Ukic shooting a 3, a high arcing 3 over the top of Caboclo. The captain, the only player really keeping Croatia in it. He's got 13 points. Benite, free for the 3, misses. Hezonja the rebound. A chance for a little scoring burst perhaps for Croatia at the start of the fourth quarter. Hezonja, this would change the mood at the Spaladium Arena. He'll go to the line for 2. They could close the gap to 11 from 16 in the space of 52 seconds.
I think this lineup, especially for Croatia, that's why I think it suits Hezonja, because, you know, the Brazilian defense, they have to respect the 3-point shooting of Ukic because of what he's done here today. You've got to respect the 3-point shooting of Jordano. You've got to respect the 3-point shooting of Shakic because of what they've done historically. So it gives that space for Hezonja to play one-on-one, gives him space to create, and if the defense does help, you just ask that he finds the open shooters.
And he's now 8 of 8 from the line. I beg your pardon, 7 of 8 after that miss on the first one. Here's Marcelino Huertas. Varejão rolling inside. Huertas takes the shot himself and knocks it down.
That's the problem. They've started to stay with the roll. They don't want Varejão to get those easy ones, and all it means now is it's Huertas' turn.
Hezonja had it knocked away. Huertas gets it back from Caboclo. Lovely fizzed pass inside, and Mendel gets it to go. It's 5 assists now in 12 minutes. Make it 6 assists for Huertas. It's back to 16 all of a sudden. Shakic onto Hezonja. Offensive foul in the middle against Planinic. And there's no sign of that Croatian comeback. There's that no-look pass from Marcelino Huertas to the cutting Mendel.
It's Hezonja that gets beat backdoor, and short leash for him. He's pulled instantly to the bench.
8 minutes to play. Brazil could stretch the largest lead of the game, and they do with their human highlight reel caboclo. 18, the largest lead of the night. Ukic to Šakić, onto Bogdanović. Šakić, he might take Bogdanović, just lighting it up from long range now. Planinic poked away by Varejao. The defense just hasn't given an inch from Brazil. Bogdanović with a hand in his face, misses. Varejao the rebound.
And here, the heady play. Huerta says, let's slow it down. We're in no rush here. Get into the half court again.
They've got just a wealth of experience, this Brazil team as well. Benite on the cut, Varejao finishes. Beautiful Brazilian team basketball.
An absolute clinic right now. This is a superb Brazil performance. And you start to get to the point where you're wondering, you know, is this going to affect the mental side of it as this tournament goes on? What happens if these two teams meet each other again in the final? How much confidence will Croatia have that they can beat this Brazilian team later in the tournament? It's easy to have double the assists of your opponent when you've got 20 more points. You know, the more baskets you score, the more assists you're going to have. But at the same time, you know, Brazil have just shared the ball beautifully. And it's been the team play that's got them the head start, and that's how they've got an assist, though. So it's not come from individual players, not come from one-on-one. It's movement off the ball, things like that have got them the openings.
Yeah, Marcelino Huertas has just started to take control creatively, up to 7 assists, but he was on 3 at the same time that Jorginho had 3. Yago, Luz, each have 3 as well, so they've shared that creative burden around the side. And Brazil playing like a team creatively, playing like a team defensively, and playing like a team with so many shooters, so many weapons, so many scorers, so much confidence, and looking like the favourites for that ticket to Tokyo right now. And there's just no joy whatsoever for Croatia. 17th turnover of the game for them, coming off the back of that timeout. In fact, the stats late updating make it turnover number 18. Benite looking to dance with the defense. Varejao really coming to the fore in the fourth.
You can see him starting to get his rhythm as well, the way he's playing for this Brazilian team. A confident little step-out jump shot there.
Bogdanović shifts it onto the far side. 3-point shot, Giordano. Caboclo the rebound. Marcelino Huertas to Varejao. He's up to 9 points now in 12 minutes. 3-point shot, Benite. Brazil taking no prisoners.
No, we did not expect this larger lead or this easier game for Brazil.
26, I think, wasn't it? The margin against Tunisia yesterday. They lead Croatia by 25. And they could surpass that winning margin from yesterday if they can get a basket here. Marcelino Huertas to Varejao. Benite draws the double team on the perimeter. They find the free man. The nice pass from Marcelino. The miss, though, from Mendel. Ukic to Giordano. I mean, what more can you say about this Brazilian performance that we haven't said yesterday against Tunisia and already tonight? And they just haven't missed a beat.
No, even plays like that, Benite knows what he's doing, kills the tempo, puts it out on the side. Croatia, who have struggled for points, now have to, rather than get an easy one in transition, now have to bring it in from the side, have to, you know, play like that. And so Kresniak comes in. he started the game and he's just not been back, Drezniak. He had a basket early, and he's another guy that can score points. I wonder why he hasn't been out there.
Bogdanovic does rattle down a three, so he's up to 16 points, but too little too late now. As we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, Brazil dominant, up by 22. And the Croatian defense just can't stop them. Varejao rolling back the years. It's 11 points in 14 minutes for him. And I think 6 of those 11 have come here in the fourth quarter. Marcinkovic misses. Žižić picks up the pieces. Little floater from him. Offensive foul. Brazil putting bodies on the line, even with this commanding lead.
Žižić is gone as well. Ends a rough night for him, really.
Fouled out in 12 minutes on court. 12 minutes in which he's put up 9 points, only missing 1 shot, but he's been in foul trouble throughout. Now he's done, and so too are Croatia. Only 4.5 to play, down by 24. Varejao to Marcelino Huertas. He's dancing with the Croatian defense. And the last samba is well and truly in business for Brazil. Bilan inside. They move it around nicely. Rogic takes the three, little hesitation wide of the basket. Confronted on the closeout by Lucas. Marcelino Huertas. Benite. Dishes off, so much movement, so much fluidity.
And someone needs to do something for Croatia here before this gets, even more embarrassing for them. They're just not doing anything at either end right now, allowing Brazil to go through the motions on every single possession.
Bilan grabs the loose ball, but a whistle. There's a legitimate chance that Brazil could gun down a century of points here with near 3.5 minutes still to play and on 90.
The way
Croatia aren't careful.
Yeah, the way this is going, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to get to 100. It's how many over 100 they get to could be the problem. Croatia, obviously, they're looking at the scoreboard. They're playing the difference right now. The energy has gone on the defensive end. But there comes a point where you've got to have a bit of personal pride. There's a crowd here, first time. You're going to have some important games coming up. You owe a little respect to the people that have paid to come.
Travel caught on Jorginho.
Yeah, rather than just clock off the way they have right now.
Bogdanovic trying to get free. Rogic looking for him. Goes to Bilan instead. Drezniak. Back to Šakić. They get a free shot. A rare one, Croatia, and they miss it because they haven't established any kind of rhythm.
They couldn't throw a stone in the ocean right now, could they? 9 of 31 for 3.
Loose. Varejao gathered it at the second attempt. Looking to take it at Bilan. Deep three, Jorginho doesn't go. Rogic. Šakić. He'll go to the line for 2.
Šakić kind of sums up this Croatian performance for me. In qualifying for Eurobasket, He's a consistent double-figure scorer, plays 25 minutes a game. Here today, 13 minutes. Even now, he's playing this dead time, padding those numbers. He's just not been out there to impact the game at all.
Luz gets inside to score. And those expressions on the faces of those in attendance here in Split tell the story. Brazil lead by 30 against the hosts. Drezhniak. Little stutter step from him, lost the handle on the ball, recovered it. Hotly contested shot. Bilan battling to make the most of the opportunity off the miss from Drezhniak. Final minute and a half. Mendel, long corner 2. Brazil have hit 94. The century still in sight, just about. Shakic. Bilan. Bilan takes it onto the interior again. We've not seen too much of that.
But that's the thing. We haven't seen too much of anything from Croatia, have we? Not really sure where they've tried to go. Now, again, we've got to remember this is still the first game, as we did talk about. You know, there's a long way. Maybe Croatia holding some things back. Maybe, you know, they didn't want to use certain lineups or plays that they might be able to go to if they do face off against Brazil later on. But it's just not been a good performance and a confusing performance for me from Croatia. They haven't used players in the way that we'd have expected them to, and we haven't used players at the, you know, that able to perform the roles that we see them do so often, either for the Croatian national team or in their club scenarios. Turn that around, and Brazil are kind of the, you know, the story for doing exactly that. Everything they do, it's within their skill set. It's what they do. They fit nicely into the right piece.
Plenty of problems to solve for Croatia heading forward in this tournament. The first of those is the problem of how to get out of this group, and that will require a win against Tunisia tomorrow. Still Brazil ball here in the final minute. Mendel. Mendel contested all the way high off the window. Doesn't drop for him. Shakic down the floor, shifts it on to Ukic. Ukic fizzes the ball into the hands of Bogdanovic, plays it on one further to Bilan, but he misses from close proximity. Luz. Gets it back. Varejão hands it off. And they're still in full flow, Brazil. Jorginho to the corner, just about reeled in by Lucas. They go for the offensive rebound, but a whistle against Brazil.
It's a mindset of the Brazilians. We saw it yesterday. They were winning against Tunisia easily. They just never stopped playing. They were picking up, they were guarding full court, no matter what the time was, no matter what the score was, and it's been the same today. Compare that to Croatia, and it's almost like, you know, Croatia gave up on this one a long time ago. And that's important for me, you know, that setting the tone for how you're going to play the whole of this preparation, the whole of this tournament here in Split.
Yeah, they've played the game like it's 0-0, even when they've had a 30-point lead, Brazil. Will they show a little mercy with the shot clock turned off now? And they do. They just dribble the ball out. But Brazil have embarrassed the star-studded hosts here in Split. Another brilliant performance to make it 2 wins from 2. And to guarantee top spot in the group through to the semi-finals. And surely now firm favourites for the ticket to Tokyo. A tremendous Brazil performance as they beat Croatia by 27 points, 94-67.
What a performance it's been. What a first 2 days for Brazil. Now they have the opportunity to rest up, think about and look at who they'll face off against in that semi-final. And right now, I mean, we thought Croatia, arguably the favourites coming in, playing here at home, but I think Brazil have shattered that myth with this performance here tonight.
It's the second time they've beaten a European team in an Olympic qualifying tournament. The first time they've won their first 2 games of one of these tournaments since 1976. Just the second time they've done it all together, and they have done it so impressively.
Well, they haven't shown a weakness, have they, so far, Brazil? And in the 2 games, we said, oh, you've got to take away their offensive rhythm. Croatia will be able to do that. Well, they couldn't. Shot the 3, they've got to the line, they've scored in and around the basket, they've turned Croatia over, they've been effective on defense. All the boxes that you need for a good performance, Brazil have shown in these first 2 days.
Look at the numbers. Brazil dominant in pretty much every category, I imagine. They forced the 18 turnovers on Croatia with that tenacious defense, so they never let up through the course of the 40 minutes. Rafa Hetzheimer leading the way with 20 points, but so many contributors. 17 from Caboclo, had a fantastic game. 14 for Mendel. They spread the points around with 11 as well from Varejao, 10 from Luge. 5 scorers in double figures, a couple of players on 8 points as well.
I think the other statistic we won't get to see there, Tim. Oh no, at the half we heard Croatia say we need to be more aggressive. That's a big thing, a big key for us in the second half. Points in the paint, 48 to 22. Well, you know, you look at the difference in the score, and there's a lot of that difference is right there. Points in the paint, because Brazil were relentless in getting easy baskets. They got offensive rebound, they did everything, whereas Croatia just didn't find those easy points.
Brazil took twice as many 2-point attempts as they did 3-point attempts. Contrast that with Croatia, who took 6 more threes than they did 2s. And Brazil shooting at 65% on those 40 2-point attempts tonight. Just dominant on the interior. And keeping the likes of Bogdanovic and Hazonia pretty quiet. We've talked about, at times, the potential problem of starting this tournament with back-to-back games with an older team like Mexico and Brazil, and they're both through to the semi-finals.
Well, it's worked, right? We could
and
say,
now they get 2 days rest.
Yeah, we could say that. You know, you look at it and say, we thought the teams playing in those back-to-back days were going to be at a disadvantage, but right now, the results, the performances have proved to us they're not at all. Those are the teams at the advantage. Now they get that, as you said, the day's rest. And they get not only a day's rest, a day preparation for the next team as well. You think for Croatia now, they've got to face off against Tunisia, so they've got to prepare for Tunisia, they're going to put the game plan in place, and then it's not until they've beaten Tunisia, they're going to be able to get the game plan ready for either Russia or Germany, probably, that they face in the next day.
It's the veterans from the Americas who've shined the brightest so far here on the Adriatic coast in Split. Mexico and Brazil in the semi-finals. We have to wait until tomorrow to find out the other 2 teams. A huge game between Germany and Russia, and also another between Croatia and Tunisia. It sets the stage for a really exciting final day of group action here at this Olympic qualifying tournament. Before we go, we'll take a look at the Group B standings. 2 wins from 2 for Brazil. They are through. They are guaranteed to be group winners. Croatia have to beat Tunisia tomorrow to finish second and make the semi-finals. They will be strong favourites for that. Earlier today, Mexico booked their place in the semi-final with an 8-point win over Russia, who face Germany tomorrow. We'll see you for a big final day of group action here at this Olympic qualifying tournament in Split. It's goodbye for now.